This is Bearded Appliance Repair, and we're going to help you fix it. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Today we got a Frigidaire ice maker that we're looking at today, and this is just going to show you how to use the diagnostics. We're going to go through each test and tell you what each one does, but how you get in is you just hold the two top buttons on the left and the right. So that's the up arrow and the plus sign. You hold those for about 10 seconds and it gets you the diagnostics. You'll know you're in because it'll make a beep and the display will change, just like that. All right, this first test here is the Thermistor Test. This thermistor is located on the ice maker itself, and it pretty much just tells you what the temperature is on the ice maker, in the ice maker mold. The number on the left tells you what the temperature of it is, and the number on the right is just the test number. So what you can do, because this one here it says it's 63 degrees, and you can just take a thermometer and put it in there and see if it is 63 degrees. And if it is 63 degrees, you know the thermistor is good. If it says OP, the thermistor is open. If it says SH, it's shorted. And that just means you gotta replace the ice maker, because thermistor is part of the ice maker. So just swap that out if that's what you're running into. But we'll move on to the next test here and go a little bit further. Okay, to go to the next test, you hit that minus button on the right hand side there. You want to go down on these for certain reasons. I'll get to it here in a second, but test 63 is the twist tray test, and it just tests the motor, make sure the motor's good. So you just hit the set button, which is between the plus and the minus sign, and that activates the test, and it should twist that motor. But the reason why you want to go backwards and not forwards, because if you hit up, it goes to test 55, and test 55 is the fill test. And if you fill it with water and there's ice in it, you're going to cause a mess. So you want to go down to test 63 and then down to test 58, which will be the next one, which is the harvest test, and that test actually activates automatically. I'll show you that here in a second. But yeah, go down to test 63, which is the twist tray, hit the set button, and you should get some motor movement. If you don't, you most likely got a bad ice maker. But yeah, we'll move on to test 58. Alright, test 58. I'm opening the door here and I'm going to hit the down arrow, which will take it right into test 58, which is harvest. And it activates automatically. You don't have to hit the set button or nothing. But if you have ice in this mold during this test or water, it's going to drop whatever's in that tray. If you go into test 58 and it doesn't move, you most likely got a bad ice maker, so you can probably go ahead and replace it, and that'll be your problem. But that's test 58, harvest mode, pretty easy. Test 57. This is the Evaporator fan motor test. On the left hand side you see it's OF for off, but once you hit set, that OF will go to ON for on, and you can verify that the fan is operating. Once you verify the fan's operating, you know the fan's good. As long as you feel some airflow and everything, you're good to go. So pretty simple test here. We'll go on to the next one. This next test is the fill test, test 55. To activate it, you do have to hit the set button, but once you hit that set button, you should hear some water go into that mold. That's why you want to do test 58 first before you do this one, or otherwise you will make a mess. But this will tell you... Yeah, test 55 is my favorite test when working with these ice makers. I'll run into a lot to where I'll go through, the test backwards. I'll harvest everything. I'll get down to test 55 and it won't fill. And most of the time it won't fill because there's ice built up in that water tube. If there's ice built up in that water tube, it's not going to allow water to get to that mold. All you got to do to test that is to take out that ice maker, put your finger up where that water comes out, and see if there's any ice. If there's ice there, what you need to do is, well, first thing you need to do is to change your water filter. If you haven't changed it in a while, if you're not getting enough pressure to that water valve, it could keep the water valve open just slightly, like a dripping water faucet, and eventually ice can build up in that tube. So if you change out that filter and you clear that ice up there, that could be your only problem. If that ice comes back, you could be looking at a bad water valve. So this test is really important and is my favorite, because most of the time ice makers on these, they don't go bad. They do, but 9 times out of 10, changing out a water filter will fix your problem, along with clearing out that ice. Even if you change out that filter and you don't clear out that ice, it's still not going to fill, so you got to make sure you clear that ice. But anyways, that's the diagnostics on these Frigidaire French door refrigerators for the ice maker in the fresh food section, of course. But to get out of diagnostics, you just hold the plus sign on the top right hand side for about 10 seconds or so, maybe 5 to 10, and it'll get you out of diagnostics back into normal operations. But I hope this video has helped you guys. If it has, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, like this thing. Thanks for your support, guys.